Charlie's Journey literally started out as a social group. I realized when I was trying to find things for Charlie, there was nothing that was under $1,000. I kid you not. I had to sell so many brownies. And I remember friends felt bad and they started begging for me to sell these brownies and stuff to get my son to be a part of this 4 week. It was only 4 weeks. And you guys, it was $1,000. And I remember the lady looking at me and saying, we have a great program that's all year round. And I just looked at her. I said, well, if this is $1,000, I don't even want to ask you what your school costs. So it was at that moment I realized it was really not set up for working moms or even two parent homes where that's not feasible. People have bills. You have other kids. I have other kids. I have 5 kids altogether. So this is a lot. So I said, well, let's try to bring some good, fun social events, a judgment-free zone for the kids. So it started out with literally back-to-school rallies. We would rally and get people to donate book bags, and I had a whole company donate the sound-canceling headphones and sunscreen and things to put in your, what do you call it, to cover your ears when you're swimming, earbuds. We had all types of stuff, and then an identity lady came to sign up all the kids, so in case anything happened, they put little tags on your shoelaces, and you could scan it with your phone. It was amazing the people that came out, and at that moment I stopped and I said, it's a lot of people out here like me, looking for a community, looking for places that actually want to help your kid and not more so use them as free publicity. Because that's what I kept feeling like. You want to take my kid's picture and say you're doing something that you're not doing. You're not giving me anything that's making him better. You're just making me more tired. I'm getting off work, rushing him to a class that's not beneficial. Bring it up. Charlie's really good with computers. I'm trying to speed it up because I know we started late. Charlie's really good with computers. He can break into anybody's phone. It's uncanny. I do not know how he do it. I have changed my password. I gave up. Everybody knows my password now. I just gave up because I didn't want him to mistakenly erase everything, trying to do whatever it is he does to break in these phones. But I started looking for classes for STEM or computers or anything in regards to children on the spectrum. And I started realizing, oh my God, this does not exist. And the classes I was finding for these kids, I stepped back, and don't get me wrong, I'm appreciative of anyone that steps in trying to give us any resources or even show us that they care about our kids and their well-being. But I realized, why we can't have more classes with substance? Why does everything have to feel like you just giving us a break as parents and it's babysitting? We can take the break, don't get me wrong, we're exhausted, so we can definitely take the break. But let us feel good and let us know that while we're breaking, our kid is being taught something that can further them. Because the one thing that's always stuck with me when Charlie was diagnosed was, what's going to happen to him if something happens to me? What's next? Who's going to step in and sign on and say they'll do this for the rest of their lives and care? I don't know if, since you guys live this every day, if you watch the news and hear about these poor people on the spectrum that are in these living facilities and they're getting abused. I was in full-blown tears when they showed the video of this young lady getting beat, and she was in a corner, and I had to cut off the TV, and I was late to work. I had to just thinking about it now, I'm sorry, but I had to compose myself, and I said, we need people out here that love our babies. We need people out here that are fighting for our babies. If something happens to us, we know if we talk to someone at Charlie's Journey, they're gonna find us a resource. They're gonna welcome my babies in, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the end goal is not just these classes. The end goal, we want a full-blown after-school resource center dedicated to our kids. That doesn't exist. They merge our kids to these regular curriculums, and again, thank you for finding a place for our kids, but my baby standing in a corner closing his ears because it's too loud is not helping my baby. My baby is literally, to me, being tortured because it's too many kids. It needs to be a way to pull these babies out and put it in a more so controlled environment. And that's what I want. And I want to fight hard. I talked about this STEM class over 4 years ago. I kid you not. And we were just, Charlie's Journey had took a break for a minute because I just felt like it wasn't doing what it needed to do. I wasn't reaching the people who needed me. And I just felt like, what am I doing? I could be looking at these resources, but when this lady called, I kid you not, you guys, she heard me on the radio promoting one of the back-to-school rallies. And she called me, and it was an older lady. She was a grandma. and she is caring for her 24-year-old grandchild that was on the autism spectrum. He was so far off. He had a heart problem. He had bad fits. She would tell me, she said, I have holes in my walls, from where he just completely flips out and punches my walls. She's like, I need my baby to be okay. I just need to know where to put him. I'm getting too old to do this. I stopped. I remember I said, I have to find this lady some help. I got on the phone. I ended up getting a lady, not to mention, his SSA was cut off, so he didn't even have medical. She didn't know how to get him his services for his heart condition. I ended up finding a lady through SSA that held this lady's hand, walked her back to getting the Medicare, and found a facility through another friend who has a child that's autistic. Through the Wayne County, they actually have a living facility, and they take on cases like this. And I felt so good, because that's what the point is. It's not just about coming together and having fun. It's about you're exhausted, you're tired, you need help, you need resources. Come to us. Let us work. Let's do this together. We're not going to promise you we have all the answers. What we're going to promise you is you're going to have 8 to 10 people busting their butt to make sure they come to you and get you the resources you need. Come to you and help you find the funding you need to do this. Come with you and do fundraisers for you to get the funding. We're in this together. This isn't Charlie's journey doing this for you. This is us. And that's why every time I put something out there, I say this is our community. This is going to be as big as we make it. So we started these programs, and I hope you guys see the vision, and I hope you guys see how amazing this is going to be, because this is going to be more than a STEM class. This is going to be more than literacy, but even with these classes, you're going to see how amazing it is. But we're talking about offering photography. We're talking about yoga. We're talking about cooking classes geared toward what they want to eat, but in a healthier way, in an easy recipe that they can cook themselves. We're talking about eventually us opening our own living facility for when they age out, they have somewhere to go if someone checks on them. You living by yourself and someone checks on like this is going to be major. And it's going to happen because it's parents fueling it. I'm not going to a lot of professionals to get a lot of scientific information. I'm going to the heart. I'm going to the moms and the dads and the grandparents that live this day in and day out, see what it is our kids need, and get as frustrated as me seeing that you can't get it. So in saying that, what I want to do is segue into a young lady that I met. Like, you guys, she blew my mind. Her name's Unique. She graduated from Oak Park High. She's on her way to college. She started her own t-shirt line, bringing awareness to autism. And when I met this little girl, I remember leaving, and I was in tears, because I realized at that moment, oh my God, you put Charlie in the box. You didn't even think about Charlie going to college. Why can't Charlie go to college? You're doing it, so of course somebody else out here that's not living it like us would do that to our kids. Of course they're going to limit our kids because it's not as easy. And that made me push even stronger. I said, oh no, I will never do that again, and I won't allow anybody else to do it. We're going to get these classes going, and they're going to see what these kids can do. Because I've seen it. For my baby to not even so much to say my name, to talk me under the table right now, I know. Like, come on, we can do it. Okay? But I want you to meet this young lady, and I know I talk fast, but I want you to get every piece of this, and even let your kids even do some of this demo. You need to come up here and talk to the people. You feel comfortable. Please come up here with your baby. This is her wonderful mom.
Hi, we're here so you can talk about her journey living with autism.
My name is Shanique Foster. I am 18 years old, diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. Having autism for me, I have had my ups and downs over a year. In the beginning, I had sensory issues. As I grew older, some of the issues I learned to deal with. My major turning point in my life was when I met my teacher, Mrs. Hudson, in 7th grade. I was in special education from 1st grade to 7th grade. Mrs. Hudson saw my strengths and she shared it with my mom. They had meetings, and I was trying from special education to general education. I really wanted to have a high school diploma like my older sister. The day comes when my life I was on an honor roll every semester of the year. I played varsity softball. I was in the choir. I sung too, which is one for the Grammys and Black History programs. I was on a school play, the Willy Wonka. I was on the Balloon Club. I was on the principal advising board. I won homecoming queen in my senior year. I was inducted into the National Honor Society, graduated top 4 of my senior class. I was blessed to have graduated with high honors. I was accepted to many colleges. My top 2 universities was University of Michigan and Central Michigan University. I decided to go to Oakland Community College. I'm not really ready yet to go to a big college. So after I receive my degree, I will transfer to UFM Dearborn. My major is Health Administration and Broadcasting. I started my teacher line to help and give back to kids and young adults like me. We helped raise $600 for a children's walk at the Detroit Zoo. Thank you.
Thank you, Unique. I'm crybaby number 2, but thank you. It's such an inspiration to us. I'm going to go over the curriculum and introduce our next presenters. I'm going to speak a little louder. First and foremost, I'm just blessed to be part of such a caring group of people. And the thing that's very exciting about today is that this is a brand new opportunity that we are putting together. So if you join us today, you're here at the grassroots level. So we just appreciate you being here to learn more about the opportunity. So Charlie's Journey program, just so you know, it's a 24-week curriculum. And each 6 weeks, we are looking at providing a STEM component, an arts pull-down component, and then a literacy component. So next, what I will do is introduce you to Suman. So let me just take a step back. We're excited to be partnering with Game Crazy Academy. So Suman will talk about the STEM piece, and then Ashley will talk about the literacy piece, and then our very own Marina will talk about the arts piece. So without any further ado, help me to welcome Suman.
Good morning, everyone. Still morning, right? No, good afternoon. Sorry, past noon. My name is Suman. I'm with Game Crazy. Before I get started, a big round of applause to the team here at Charlie's Journey. I mean, I can just feel their passion is amazing. I'm honored, truly humbled and honored to be a part of this program over here. And to you, what an amazing story. It's amazing. Big round of applause for you as well. So Game Crazy Academy, that's the company that I started about 6 years ago now. So I know we're running behind time, so I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible, but I'm here till about 2:30, so any questions that we have, I'm happy to answer them for you. Really quick, something a little bit about me. My name is Suman Chaudhary. I have 3 jobs. I have a daytime job, and I also have 2 different businesses that I run. My first job is with Microsoft. I sell all their technology to companies like GM, Ford, Yazaki, Warner, all the automotives in the area. So that allows me the opportunity to really be in touch with what's going on in the technology field. We're on the cutting edge of technology, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. I'll share a little bit about what's going on in that space. My goal with the second thing that we do is the Game Crazy Academy. So as part of the academy, I work with schools all over the state, and we go to after-school programs in STEM, where we teach kids basically everything to do with robotics, with designing your own video games, animation, all sorts of very different programs. My passion is to have kids be a part of the STEM community, and it's not just because of the fact that I want them to be computer scientists, but I feel like being a part of learning STEM allows you to start becoming a critical thinker, to start thinking about problem solving. And those kind of skills will translate over to any kind of journey that you take, whether you want to be a lawyer, whether you want to be in health administration, whatever field you want to be in. I'll talk a little bit about that. So with that, if we could move over to the next slide, please. So STEM is about teaching kids about computer science. So I just want to make a quick distinction about what computer science is and what it isn't. Computer science is about the theory, design, and development of software systems, about software that you use every day. When you're using Google.com, when you're going to Amazon, someone is writing that code, deploying it on a machine, and you're able to access it and you're able to do things with it. That's what computer science is. What it's not is knowing how to use Excel, knowing how to use a Word document. Now that's very useful, and those skills will translate into your day-to-day job, but that's not computer science. There's no analytics and programming and coding going on. You're using the software, right? And what I feel is a lot of our kids, as they're growing up, are consumers of technology, right? What STEM allows them to do is become producers of technology. Right, so you go from consuming, a lot of kids are on tablets playing Minecraft and doing all sorts of fun things, that's great, it's firing those neurons, but they're consuming that technology that somebody else is developing, right? So what I want them to do is I want them to become producers of technology, create something with your hands, create something with your brain that others are using and that you can then, make a living from, right? So, next slide. So I already talked a little bit about this, but why go through this, right? I see this every day when I'm working with kids. My staff is working with kids. By the way, I don't know if you weren't announced. Yes.
We have some computers set up with his team, so some of our volunteers can take them just around the corner.
If you don't mind, your kids leaving you, you okay with that? Okay.
We have robotics and video game design and things like that set up. Now, just wanted to quickly mention that in this setting with so many kids, we're not going to be able to teach, but we want them to sit there and play with the robots and experience what it's going to be about, right? So if anybody wants to go and try it out, please walk over to the next room. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So coming back to STEM and why teach kids about computer science. I see it every day when we're tasking a child to create their own video game. Think about it for a second, right? You've got a character on the screen. Your child has to move this character around the screen. You've got to be able to figure out, okay, what's the x-axis? What's the y-axis? How do I go up? How do I go down? If I hit a wall, I need to stop. I can't just go through the wall. I've got to learn how to detect things. I've got to learn how to work around things. What happens if I run into this problem, right? And so there's a lot of problem solving, a lot of relying on yourself to find answers instead of looking to others to give you the answer, right? And I talk about this a lot when we talk about STEM. We teach kids to fail, and we teach kids to fail early because I think that's a critical skill you need to learn because you're going to fail a lot in life. And you need to learn that a lot of times the answers need to come from within. It's great to have people around you to help you, but we teach kids how to think for themselves. Deductive reasoning, all of those things, self-reliance, innovation. It's amazing to see when we teach a child a concept and they take that concept and they think about 10 other things that they want to do with it. Right? Oh, I learned 1 + 1 is 2, now I want to take that and I want to be able to create something that's going to lead to something else, it's going to lead to something else. It brings that innovative mindset, it sparks a lot of things in their minds that's just amazing to see. Next slide. You probably already know this, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Computer programming jobs are growing at 2x the national average. You see that on the bottom right-hand side. Computer science jobs are among the top 5 highest paying college degree jobs that are out there. Again, my goal is not to say that your child needs to become a computer programmer, but if he or she chooses to do so, it's not a bad field to be a part of. You'll see across all the job growth areas from 2010 to 2020, double-digit growths for software engineering, computer information systems, database administrators, computer programmers, right? So it's not a bad field to be in, but again, if you don't choose to go down that path, you're learning the core skills that a programmer or database administrator learns that you can now go and leverage in other parts. Even if your child wants to go into healthcare, a lot of the doctors today don't have or the supporting staff don't have the skills necessary to run their business properly because they don't understand some of the technology. They have the medical knowledge, but now pair that with the technical knowledge, and you can just do so much more with your business, right? So, next slide, please. I think this is build out, so just build it all out. There you go. I talked a little bit about this, and I focus on this, and it's very important because when your child comes to our class, my instructors and your child will work in a partnership, right? There'll be times when we'll give your child hints and we'll give your child the answer if they get frustrated, but our goal is to try and get them to think along for themselves, right? So we'll if they come and ask us a question, we kind of almost sometimes ask them a question back to get them to say, well, how would you do this, or how would you do that, or what do you think would happen if you did this? Go out and try it out. If it fails, come back and tell us, and we'll try something different, right? It's that mindset of this didn't work, that didn't work, I tried this and that worked, right? And I think it's important to develop that mindset instead of saying, oh, just go ahead and do this, because sometimes in life you're not always going to have somebody who can give you the answers to your problems. So we teach them to fail early, we teach them to fail fast, and we teach them to fail often. This is a very, very core paradigm to computer science, and anybody that goes through computer programming, you'll write something, you'll code something, we'll talk about robots here in a second. You'll code a robot to do something. The robot won't do it, it'll go and do something totally different. You're like, oh, what happened, right? I've got to go back to the drawing board, I've got to figure out how to debug this what I wrote, and I've got to figure out why it didn't work. So you think you did something, the expected outcome was something totally different. Match it up, say where you went wrong, take it step by step, and then figure out what you need to change, right? So next slide. So I'll show you this video really quickly, and it's a long video, so I won't show you the whole video, but I put this up for a reason. The world is rapidly changing around us. How many of you use Amazon? A lot. Look at where Amazon was 5 years ago, look at where they are today. They're delivering packages with drones. They're branching out and doing all sorts of cool stuff, right? Microsoft and Xbox and games that are being developed. It's just, our world is moving at a very, very rapid pace with technology. I truly feel like if our kids, especially, and I'm very passionate, I didn't get a chance to talk about this, I'm very passionate about women in technology. I think that that's a very underrepresented segment of our STEM community. There's a lot of boys that are very, very interested in STEM, but I think that I spent a lot of time over the last 6 years thinking about ways in which we can get women integrated into the program as well. But we'll talk about that at a later date. But this video will show you some of the amazing things that are happening out there in the robotics world. We're going to talk about robotics here in a second. If you don't mind just hitting the play button on the video, we'll just play a minute of this video. And you'll see Boston Dynamics is a company that's working with Google. Can we just click on it? Yeah. And you will make sure I'm not blocking anyone's view. So this is Boston Dynamics. They acquired by Google, and they build robots, military robots. They build military robots that they deploy out in the field. You can kick it, you can push it, it auto balances itself, it knows where it's going. Yeah. And it knows terrain, it knows steps. It carries 4,000 pounds of load on its back and will run next to a Marine hauling all the equipment with it, right? This is developed by people. So it's, like I said, we don't have to watch the whole video, but there's a whole video on that. So So let's bring this down to what does it mean for us and where do we get started? So what we talked about was, we teach, as Game Crazy Academy, we teach a lot of different things. We teach 3D printing, we teach how you program drones, we teach how to develop applications for phones, but it's a journey, right? We have to start somewhere and take that journey over the next number of years. So we talked about it and said, as an introductory program, this is a good baseline. Let's create a baseline for the kids with phone programs, and then we can see how we build it up from there. So one of the first things that we're going to teach is robotics. With robotics, how many of your kids have done any kind of robotics? With robotics, what we teach the kids is everything from building robots to programming the robots to getting them to a point where they're autonomous. And by autonomous, I mean that the robots are driving themselves, are moving by themselves, have the intelligence to operate by themselves in an environment much like that robot dog that you saw, right? So you'll see over here that we built a robot, it's a car, and we create missions. Every time we do these classes, we create missions for the kids. The first mission that we're going to work with as part of this pilot program is what we call terraforming. We're going to make your child an as a scientist, and he or she is going to have to design a robot that's going to get transported over to this planet. And once the robot lands on this planet, it has to autonomously go and solve a multitude of challenges. It has to gather rocks, move them from point A to point B. It has to go and look at the color of objects and figure things out. We're going to give them a variety of different things to do. Now, what is that? How do they do it? So the first thing we teach them after they build the robots is how do you move a robot back, forward, turn around, degrees. When you create a certain number of rotations in your tires, how far does a robot go? So now they're starting to learn all those math concepts that they're already learning in school, right? And so degrees, angles, rotations, distance. Once they go through all of that and they get the robot to move back and forth and turn around on their own, we start teaching them sensors. And sensors is a very, very important topic in the industry today because you'll hear of the term IoT, which is industrial automation and technology. Sensors are being built into everything today. Sensors are being built into your fridge, they're built into your TVs, they're built into your cars. Every company wants to know what's happening with their product once it leaves their warehouse, once it leaves their distribution center. They want to be able to collect that information, they want to make it improve your life. So your cars, if your brakes are about to wear out, the sensors are telling GM or Ford or whoever it is, hey, John's brakes are going to wear out in the next 2 months. You then get an automated message or whatever it is to say, hey, your brakes are wearing out, maybe you need to take it to servicing, right? Better to sometimes service it before you have some damage so that you can save some money. So sensors are going to be a big topic in the industry in the future, so we're going to teach kids about sensors. Attach sensors to our robots. You're going to have a vision sensor, an obstacle sensor that's going to detect obstacles, a color sensor, a touch sensor. If I touch it, he knows it needs to go do something. And we're going to incorporate those things into the course. And so the course of the 4 weeks, 6 weeks that we're there with them, they're going to be able to build every week on these challenges and progressively do bigger and better things with the robot that we build. Lego animation. We're going to take Lego pieces and basically allow your child's imagination to soar. They're going to be the director, the music director, the producer, the set designer, the story writer of their own movie, right? And they're going to bring that movie to life in an animated way with Lego robots. So your child's going to be tasked to say, come up with a storyline, come up with the characters, come up with a background score, what's the special effects going to look like for this scene, and then we're going to teach them how to build all of that using Lego robots. And the end goal is that they go home and they're able to demonstrate these movies, showcase these movies to you as to what they've built, right? Video game design. I'm betting most of the kids, most of the parents that are in this room, their kids love video games. Yes. What better way to teach them than to use a medium that they already love, right? And so there's a tremendous amount of. I know a lot of parents think video games. My kids play video games all the time. I don't want to play any more video games. They're not going to be playing video games as much as they're going to be creating video games. And in the process of creating those games, they're really going to start to think about the core concepts in programming and computer science that will serve them as they go down this program with us. So for example, looping is a concept in programming, right? So looping is when you're doing something over and over and over again. Maybe you're doing it 5 times in a row, maybe you're doing it 10 times in a row. That's called loop. So we teach them all those concepts using a drag and drop programming interface just like this. So each of these are blocks, and each of these blocks have a specific goal. Move 10 steps. Okay, change over and do something else. This is a forever loop. If I put this forever loop and then I put this move block in there, your character is just going to keep moving 10 steps forever. It's never going to stop, right? So if you detect that you're on the edge, I want you to do something else. So you start to learn about how do I use these blocks. I'm not writing any code at this point, because again, writing code is a skill that needs to be developed over time. I can't just take a child, put them in front of a computer and teach them a syntax and expect them to learn it right off the bat. Right? It's like driving. You can't just drive on the freeway right away. You've got to learn the basics before you can do that. So before we teach them how to actually sit at a keyboard and start writing code, we're going to teach them the concepts, but they're going to learn the concepts using these colorful drag and drop blocks. And the minute they drag and drop those blocks and they hit the play button, the character's going to go do something, and they're going to then be able to say, "Oh, my character just went through that wall. That shouldn't have happened. I need to go back and see what I did wrong and fix it." Right? In the process, they're building these video games. And then from there, we're going to go to Minecraft. Show of hands, how many kids play Minecraft? All right. All right. Again, very, very popular game, but Minecraft is very much all about building things. It's like, for those of you who don't know it, think about it as a virtual Legos, right? So you build stuff in the physical world with Legos. In Minecraft, you build houses and build whatever you want in the digital world. What we're going to do, however, is we're going to start to teach them how to code in Minecraft. So now, for the first time, you'll see these little blocks over here. These are actually computers in Minecraft. Once you drag and drop that computer and you put it down on the ground, you can touch it, and it pops a screen, and now they're going to start to learn how to write actual code. Because they've learned some of the basics of video game design using those drag and drop blocks. Now they're going to start to put that into practice by writing actual lines of code and incorporate that into the Minecraft game, so that they're playing it. They can, like, for example, in Minecraft today, you can build a house. And you can build a house and you can build an elevator in it. But the elevator is not going anywhere, much like in Legos, right? When you build a Lego set and you put an elevator in there, unless you physically move it with your hand, it's not operating on its own. So in Minecraft, it's the same thing. They can build all these fancy structures, but they're not able to do anything with it except for build it, right? With programming now, you start to get into these ideas and concepts of, what if I build a bank and I wanted to create a safe? I create a safe in Minecraft and I put this lock on it. And only if I enter the right password is that safe going to open up. Now I'm going to be able to take things out of it, right, or put things in. So now you start to say, okay, well, I've got to be able to set characters and numbers. I'm going to match it up to what the password needs to be. If there's a match, then do something. Otherwise, do something else, right? So we get into those concepts of if, then, else, things like that learn in the video game design class using blocks that actually start to code those concepts out in Minecraft, right? So I know I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I quickly want to give you an overview of the 4 things that we're going to start off with. Like I said, I'm here for till about 2 to 2:30, so if you have any questions, please ask me. I think with that, I'll hand it over to you for the next step. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys are excited about this as I am. When I saw this all coming together, she can tell you, I have not been able to sleep. We stay on the phone, we stay talking about new ideas, like we even trying to incorporate a photography, like these ideas keep coming. This STEM is so important, and I hope you guys jump on board and get your babies in from the ground up, because it's a build upon method. It's 24 weeks, so it builds upon, so what you're going to see at the finale at that 24th week, I think is going to blow your mind. Now, in saying that, I want to segue into Miss Ashley, so she can tell you about the literacy component that has been brought on board. Did I skip? Do you mind if do you want? Okay, I apologize. I skipped. Soon as Miss Ashley's done, we're gonna show, Miss Margina's gonna step up and tell you guys about the cool down period, because we know our kids get kind of tired sitting and learning. So there's a portion that allows them to basically wiggle and play.
All right, guys, so I am not as robust as mine with this presentation, but I do have my mascot, Mrs. Ashley. So whenever you see this lady, I'm somewhere really close by. So my name is Ashley Chesney. I am a 5-time published children's author. I started a program about 4 years ago, probably 6 months after I talked to Nina for the first time. At that point, when we initially talked, I only had my first children's book. And she contacted me 4 years later, today, and Nina said, oh, I want to see if there's a way we could partner. I have this idea for Charlie's Journey. Charlie was 10 when we talked, and now Charlie's 14, so I'm still freaking out just a little bit about that. But since our last time that we spoke, I developed a program called Genius Patch. And Genius Patch is a 501c3 nonprofit based here in Detroit. Our mission is to provide historically underprivileged children with accessible programming. Accessible is important. Programming that gets them excited about learning in a way that makes it meaningful for them. Now, I want to talk to you about why that is important. I'm a mom too. I'm like, hey, I want you to learn these things so you can succeed in life. But if I can't connect to my son in a way that makes it meaningful for him, it won't stay. Right? Because it's a reason that learning and education is important to all of us. We have to help our children develop the same understanding in their own unique way. So why do I want to learn? Why do I enjoy learning? And I believe that learning is the lens through which we examine and understand ourselves and understand the world around us. So a little bit about Genius Patch. You guys should have a flyer. Everybody get a flyer? With Genius Patch on it? Yes. Perfect. All right. So then I won't have to tell you about the statistics, and we can just connect. But Genius Patch, one of the things I love about it is it's the organization that was built to grow to meet the needs of our children. When I first started Genius Patch 4 years ago, I did not ever think that I would be standing in front of a group of brilliant parents with brilliant children who just happen to be on the spectrum. When I talked to Nina about what it is that I do and why I do it, she said, that's perfect. And I said, is it? Because I wondered, could I adapt my programming to meet the needs of children on the spectrum? And my answer was yes. Why? Because they're intelligent, they want to learn, and they can teach Mrs. Ashley a lot. My approach to learning and our programming is that we are learning, just like Simone said, we're co-learners too. Mrs. Ashley doesn't know everything. She will never know everything, and I take that approach. So as I'm teaching you something, I'm also learning from you as well. I'm very excited because two of my very special friends are here today. Sean, can you wave everybody? This is Dakota, can you wave to everybody really big? Can you wave to everybody really big? Okay, there we go. And Dakota is only 3 years old, but she's back there coloring from my coloring book because one of the things about Mrs. Ashley is I'm never going to tell a child to sit down, be quiet, and shut up. I adapt to meet the needs of that child. So, Mom, I understand because I'm a mom too. Let me find a coloring book to keep Dakota occupied while you try to listen to this information. That's how we do our programming. One of the most exciting things that I came up with is our Junior Storyteller program. And I have the books here today so you guys can check them out. Now, Junior Storyteller started because I thought of something that really bothered me when I was in school. I always had to read books that other people wrote, right? And I was like, well, good for them. But I've always been this person, don't worry. So I thought, well, good for them, which attitude added. Got in trouble for that. But I did think that way. Well, that's great. They wrote a book. How does that affect me? Do I care about the story that they wrote? Most of the time, not really. And so here Mrs. Ashley is a 5-time published author, and I hope that the kids love my books. I get pretty good feedback. But I said, you know what will make it matter a little bit more to them? If they can use their own words and their own experiences to write stories of their own. The cool thing about that, as creative and as imaginative as Mrs. Ashley is, these children, guys, the stories they tell you after school, the things they come up with, the way that they crack the code to your phone. Because just a funny story, my 18-month-old ago, we got a new car, and that's my husband back there taking pictures. But we got a brand new car. And we were like, I mean, this car is great, but you would think in 2018, they would make it so that wiper fluid cleans your back window off too, right? 3 months. Never figured it out. Our 18-month-old figured it out. And so he is already a teacher of us at 18 months, and 50 pretty much entered the world. And so what we do is we take children, this is a 38-page workbook, we take it from the workbook and work through the process of helping children take their thoughts, take their words, take their experience, and develop into a book of their own. Now here's the thing, Mrs. Ashley is really big on experience, right? Because it's like, oh great, I wrote a story. I go home, I may remember that, I may not. Not if you hang out with Mrs. Ashley. Your children will participate in my program will not only get the experience of writing a story, they'll get a workbook, digital and print, autographed by Mrs. Ashley, telling them how brilliant they are, to take home so that they can write more stories and really develop the skill of becoming a junior author. But, I mean, that's great for Mrs. Ashley. She has her own books and they're printed and they have nice illustrations, right? Why shouldn't I have that experience too? Why shouldn't I have my own book professionally illustrated, professionally laid out, printed with my name so that I have that forever? That's what they get. Niggas like Charlie will be here getting judged.
Come on.
And so the component of writing is really important to me when we think about getting our children interested in reading, because I was that child who didn't like to read. I wasn't interested in the girl with the blonde hair who had a white picket fence because that wasn't my experience. And so when I started to find books that spoke to who I was and valued who I was in my experience, I was like, yes. So now your babies will have a chance to create that for other children. Super excited about that. But Mrs. Ashley, Mr. Evan, can you nod your head if this is true? She's really big on experience, right?
Yes.
Because she's a little bit extra. Because experience is the connector to saying, I learned this, I'm interested and willing to apply it, and this is something that I will hold on to for a lifetime. We write this book, it probably will take 12 weeks. But what's happening while our book is being produced? What is Mrs. Ashley going to do? What are your children going to do? Because you don't want to send your kids somewhere where they're just getting babysat, right? I mean, sometimes that's cool, but like you said, sometimes I'm like, I just want to take a shower today because I'm going to take a kid. But let's leverage Mrs. Ashley's experience. And one of the things that's really cool about our program is that it's always growing. And as we partner with other amazing organizations like Charlie's Journey, Michigan State's ARCA, Fourth Wall, we adapt our programming to provide better and more robust experiences for children. So, the last 12 weeks that I have your babies, and they're my special friends, we're going to turn their story into a play. You like Mama's right, yeah, okay, you're excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and the reason that's important is because literacy is everything. Literacy is the foundation of everything. But if I can get you excited about literacy by getting you up and moving and speaking to things that are your special talents, maybe you like to illustrate, maybe you want to work on costumes, maybe you want to work on a set. Now let me tell you something really cool, because even in my personal life, this all comes into play. When Nita and I spoke almost 4 years ago, it was more than 4 years ago, this man back here didn't even exist to me. Mr. Evan didn't exist to me. But when he came into my life, he was like, oh, that's a cool program. Well, this is what I did as a kid. You know what Mr. Evan did as a kid? He was in over 40 plays. Like lead role plays, guys. Not like, oh, I got on stage and just did a little something. He was like that guy. I mean, Broadway performances, traveling around the world performing, and that's not an experience that Mrs. Ashley had. But through meeting Mr. Evan and leveraging his experience, I can now bring that to our children. So I'm not talking about some cutesy play, guys. We're gonna look it up. Yes! We're gonna look it up. And I have done this before with a group of 60 3rd through 6th graders.
I'm talking smoke machines, I'm talking costumes. Something, I was like, let me see if I can recommend a park to the store. But it's just an amazing opportunity because I want to leave you with this. Every child and every person needs 3 things to have a meaningful life and to be able to succeed in life. This is Mrs. Ashley's success equation. Experience, exposure, and opportunity. If I can have an experience to meet Mrs. Ashley, to see a black female author who's pretty cool, pretty young, who looks like me, who wears her hair and is coarse just like mine, and she can do it, then I can do it. But then that experience transferred into me having my own experience of doing it myself. So you're exposed to Mrs. Ashley, you experience Mrs. Ashley, you experience the book, you put on a play, you write your own story, and that's the opportunity to see who you are and who you can be. And that is how you succeed. So guys, I'll be here. I don't think Mr. Evans is making me leave, so you can come and ask some questions, check out the books. We're gonna talk. Awesome, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Okay, this is how I'm so used to it. A little bit of background about myself. I am an educator. I have worked exclusively in the Detroit area for the past 10 years. I really don't fool with the little kids. So I started off doing middle school, and I love middle school, but I always thought that, you know, I'm young enough to I can go to high school and make impact. Got to high school and I was like, oh no, I'm like big kids. Too big. They almost as big as I am. So I was like, let me go back down to middle school where I know somebody. So with that being said, one of the things when Nina and I, Nina recruited me to be a part of the Charlie's Journey team is because you'll see a recurring theme with every section that we talked about, whether it was the STEM component, the literacy piece, is that we always talked about partnering kids with other kids because kids learn best from other children. And let me tell you a secret, your school knows that. Any teacher worth her salt knows that a child learns best from another child. However, in traditional universities and colleges, that's not what we're taught. So, is anyone here an educator or teacher?
We're actually on the same planet. I
Yes,
thought high school.
Yes, ma'am. So you know what I'm talking
Stay
about.
right there with my 8th grade.
You know what I'm talking about. I stay right here in my eighth grade. Perfect. Perfect. So anyway, I digress. One of the things that the way that we're taught and trained with a traditional university teacher training program is actually to be really self-centered. So you should be the talking head in the classroom. You should be up in front of the kids, and they should be sitting and soaking. And that does not work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. Kids learn best when they're parallel with other children. So the art component part of this, we were having a board meeting. We were trying to think, we need an art instructor. We need an art instructor. We know the teacher's art. What do we know? And I thought about my son. And he's actually here. He went with the kids to play for workshops, which I got to he was doing. But he's 16 years old, and his name is Kobe. And Kobe, I have always had issues with Kobe in school because Kobe is not a traditional learner. He is not on the spectrum. At one point in time, I speculated whether he was, but in all actuality, Kobe is a kid who just learns differently. Stand before him and give him a lecture and ask him to take notes does not work for him. He needs to be up, he needs to be manipulative, he needs to be touching something, he needs to be acting out. That's how he best learns, and I learned that that's where he thrives. Did not know the kid was an artist until he came home one day with this spectacular self-portrait, which is on the charliesjourney.org website. And I was like, you did that? And he was just like, yeah. And it was like no big deal. He was just like, yeah, I did this. And it just kind of blew me away. And then when I actually started like asking him, like, do you have other works of art? This boy drew me, like cooking. He drew his sister, and he's drawn the neighbor's dog. And it's just like, these are like exact paintings. So we thought, well, why don't we get Kobe to teach the kids? And went home, asked him, said, hey, would you be interested in teaching some kids? And he's just like, oh, let me think about it. Came back about 15 minutes later, he said, I thought about it, I want to do it. So that's what we're going to do.
and we're gonna have them actually not learning along with kids, they'll be learning with, from another child as well. And that kind of segues into our volunteer portion of Charlie's Journey. We are going to make it part of our mission that we use youth volunteers to not just partner with the kids, but we also want to use kids like Unique, who spoke here. We want to use kids like Kobe. We want to provide them with opportunities to lead and to have exposure and experience, like my friend back there said, in the fields of their choice. No one else is doing this. Everybody's waiting around for, the big break, or, let me make my kids social media famous. So hopefully somebody will notice them. Here at Charlie's Journey, we're going to create those opportunities for our children. By having them volunteer, by having them work alongside with our students that are on the spectrum, but also with our students that are both on and off the spectrum, giving them an opportunity to lead and to actually share their knowledge with the students who take part in this program. Nobody else is doing that, not only in Detroit, nobody's doing that in Michigan, nobody's doing that in the United States. So it's going to start with us. It's going to start with us. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be groundbreaking. We are super, 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 super excited. I will be wrong with you, I couldn't sleep. Christmas tomorrow. So we're really, really excited. In your volunteer packet, in your informational packet, there is a volunteer form that we are asking for anyone to fill out. If you know, we know that we connect with our networks. We want you to reach out to other teenagers, young adults that you may know that may want to volunteer.
You have it.
Oh, I have it.
You're not crazy. It's not
Not crazy. It's not in there, so we're gonna get this circulating now. She's throwing that out. You just take one and pass it back out and share it. And feel free to share this information. It's also on our webpage as well as on our website. You fill out the contact form, it goes directly to the Charlie's Journey administrator, and they will answer you back. Along with your student intake form. Should you and when you, so we're going to be presumptuous and say that you're going to come along and ride with us. Should you and when you decide to enroll your child in one of our 60 classes, on the student intake form, I would like for you all to indicate your child's interest, because part of the art piece is that we're going to create collaborative projects where there will be students creating pieces of art individually, but it's going to create a collaborative piece. Again, we are modeling everything that we want our kids to model. Compassion. We want them to model that collective mindset, that you need people, you need to be plugged into people. One of the things that I love about Nina that she says all the time is that she says, hey, it's better for all of us to work together, where each one of us has mastery in different areas, and we create a great program, than one person trying to do it in isolation on their own, and they're struggling in different areas, only being proficient in one. So we try to model that in everything that we're going to do with Charlie's Journey. So please make sure that you indicate your child's interest. Kobe wants to actually develop the art curriculum around your kids' interests. He didn't want to pre-plan anything that they may not be engaged with. It was purposeful and intentional for us to do that. Okay? And he'll be back later. I don't know if he's going to talk to me. Of course, I'm here with the team until we close for the end of the day. All right?
Thank you. You're welcome. First, I want to give everybody who presented a round of applause. So just to recap, does everyone have this sheet here? Mine is a written one, but this kind of gives a snapshot of the program. So what you've heard today is from 3 different presenters who will be over 3 different portions of our program. So the program will kick off the first week in October. It will run from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The first 90 minutes of the class will be the STEM portion. That's where the first 6 weeks they'll focus on learning robotics and the language behind the OHA program. The next 15 minutes will be a cool down period. That's where they will work on their art projects, exercise with coding. And then the last 60 minutes will be the literacy component, and then we'll close and wrap up about 1:45 for parent pickup. So just to reinforce what your child will get at the end of the 24-week program, they will have their own video game design that they've customized from scratch. They can take home and play with family and friends. They will have their own Lego animation movie that they'll be able to take home that they built in Mr. Suman's class, that they'll be able to take home and share with you. What we will do is invite parents into the classes every few weeks, just so that you can actually observe your students and see what they learn. At the end of every 6 weeks, they will get a certificate based upon what they've completed during those segments. They will have their own very published mini book with Miss Ashley.
Full book, Mrs. Ashton,
full book.
that's
I'm
all.
And they will be able to participate in a full-out production. So to me, I really want to actually participate in the class. The cost of the program for 24 weeks is actually $400. We are working alongside you to fundraise, to actually subsidize the cost. Our end goal is really to make it free. So what we invite you today, I don't know, I feel like real. What we invite you to do today is to really fill out those student intake forms if you're interested. We will stay connected with you. We have a fundraiser that we're doing on September the 8th. It's a poetry
Open mic showcase.
Open mic showcase. Thank you for giving me the words. We're hoping to use those proceeds from that event to subsidize the cost of the program for your child. We will also be in touch with you, connect you with the link to our website so that if you want, we'll partner with you to collect donations on your child's behalf. So please fill out the intake forms. We're going to open it up to questions before we do closing remarks.